my Sundance 2025 US Dramatic Competition movies, the Jason version. Yeah, I read that off the screen. This year, DJ and I split a package. We'd stream any movie we wanted, but we could only watch it once. So we got together, watched a bunch of movies. Tropia, Bubble and Squeak, Bunny Lover, Love Brooklyn, Omaha, Plainclothes, Ricky, Sorry Baby, Sunfish and Other Stories of Green Lake, Twinless. There's a point where I'm like, I watched 8 of them, so might as well just watch all 10 of them. I didn't separate it in categories of great, goods, and mehs, because all the movies this year were mostly good. I thought a lot of them were fun, and maybe if I revisit them, I'll like them more, but so I just put it in alphabetical order. Plainclothes, a promising undercover agent assigned to lure and arrest gay men defies professional orders when he falls in love with a target. That's from IMDb. As Tom Blight, Maria Dizia, Russell Tovey, Christian Cook, Amy Forths. I'm not good at names. Took place in the 90s and the present. The 90s mall was a central location. I did like the idea of this movie. A secretly gay or bi man who is hurting the LGBTQ community, and it's eating away at him. The acting was good. It felt pretty original too. I liked the ending and how it wrapped up. However, I didn't like the vibe of this movie. Wasn't a fan of the constant jumping back and forth in time. I didn't like the frenetic editing. I really didn't like the random cuts of the VHS surveillance camera look. I didn't feel the love of the two men in the movie either. It felt more carnal than emotional. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it wasn't, but I don't know. This might be because I'm not gay, and this was also in the 90s when gay men were hiding. It didn't feel like a bad movie. It just felt like an overly edited movie. Ricky, this won Best Director. Newly released after being locked up in his teens, 30-year-old Ricky navigates the challenging realities of life post-incarnation and the complexity of gaining independence for the first time as an adult. Stephen James, Cheryl Lee Ralph, Titus Welliver, Simi Kali, Sean Nelson, who was actually the kid in the 1995 movie Fresh. I liked it. It was funny, sensitive, equally uplifting and frustrating. He had helpful friends and strangers in his life, people that kind of looked out for him and could tell he was kind of on edge being in the world nowadays. Didn't know how to use his phone completely. He's been in jail for so long. Others use him and are bad influences, including his own brother, who just seemed to not get the gravity of the situation. His brother's been in jail for 15 years. Help him out a little bit. His PO was cool. It was kind of good seeing parole officer care about the people that they are looking over. It had some crazy scene. There's a fight in a car, a gun pulled on him by a stranger, a sex scene with a frustrated lady. Most people around him are oblivious of his struggles with a job, money, no car, and having to see his PO at a certain time on a certain day. And the ending, I feel like didn't have the strongest impact on me, but it was good. I thought it was good. The Q&A was great. It's probably one of my favorites. The actors really knew the characters, which enriched the experience in retrospect. I mean, the way they were talking about him, like Ricky was 30, but he was mentally 15. And this is something when I was watching the movie I thought of, is the actor in real life is an older brother, and he has to play a younger brother who is kind of like an older brother to his younger brother. And I don't even know why am I describing this? One actress judged the character she played and had to get over that so she could take the role, which I thought was interesting too, because she's not a likable person in the movie. And I'm looking forward to seeing more from this director. Sorry Baby, or Sorry Baby. Something bad happened to Agnes, but life goes on for everyone around her, at least. This is from IMDb, and when I saw this, I was not really interested in seeing it. I had no idea what this was about. It seemed very generic, but I heard the reviews. The reviews brought up Noah Baumbach, Greta Gerwig, and Wes Anderson. So I'm like, okay, I like those people. Oh great, here comes the names. Eve Victor, Naomi Ackie, Lewis Cancelme, Kelly McCormick, Lucas Hedges, John Carroll Lynch. Dialogue felt a little like Gerwig and Baumbach. Yes, they were right. They were right. Some of the scenes, really good. Just the scene alone, it was just really funny back and forth dialogue that felt kind of grounded, realistic for heavy situations that were made light, funny with some dark moments, cute, very likable characters, except 2 folks in the movie. Low-key mumblecore, maybe it's a mumblecore movie. Felt a little scatterbrained at times for me, kind of like snippets from a life. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Was missing a crescendo that it could have had, I felt. Sometimes a little depressing, which I don't know if it needed to be. Sunfish and Other Stories of Green Lake, an anthology following the residents of a small town and a lake that binds them together. IMDb. Marceline Hugot, Adam Lefebvre, Maren Harry, Dominic Bogart, Jim Capelin, Carson Leota, Ray Liotta's daughter, Emily Hall. I know Emily Hall. It's not Brandon's wife. This was, I think, my favorite movie. This is the first movie I watched. This was 4 stories that connect. Some stories felt incomplete, but it, like in a good way, felt personal and realistic. Very little drama, and when it was never heavy. It was voyeuristic, like you're people watching at a park. A little slice of life, Robert Altman-esque movie. Like things are happening and you're just observing. Each vignette was about outsiders, which I relate to. And it was very nostalgic and made me reminisce about my life growing up, like visiting grandparents and, you know, school things or being stuck in a small town. The Q&A was very good too. This was the director's final school project at some film school in California, I believe. Shot in her hometown, Michigan, in grandma's home. The first story was about feeling abandoned by parents. The second was about feeling smothered by parents. The third story was about feeling stuck and wanting to leave your hometown. And the fourth story was about leaving. And this is not giving anything away. These are just like the themes of the movie. Sunfish made me feel good, held my attention, and effortlessly flowed from beginning to end. I was kind of hanging on every word. I even got a little cathartic. I don't know what it was, just everything just came together 3/4 of the movie in, and I was just really enjoying myself, and I was excited that I was watching it. I was excited that the filmmaker made this. I don't know, it had been lingering on my mind since the festival. I'm actually looking forward to watching it again. This is a very, very, very mundane movie. It's almost didn't even feel like a movie. This had more heart than anything I saw at Sundance. That's just me. I don't know if other people even like it, but it hit me, and I'm glad I saw it. Twinless, two grieving men bond in a support group and form an unlikely friendship. This has Dylan O'Brien, James Sweeney, Aisling Francois, Laura and Graham. Sundance pulled this movie hours after I watched it because of copyright issues of it appearing online, so I barely got to see this movie. My friend DJ did not, which sucks because he was going to watch it on Sunday. Shot in Portland, because the first scene you see a Max train go by, and I'm like, is this Portland? I believe this movie was shot in the Pearl, maybe Whole Foods in the Pearl, or maybe Broadway, somewhere off there. It was cute, it was funny, it was a fun and original idea. Dylan plays two very different characters, which is fun to watch, even though you only get to see one of them a little bit. And I really liked the ending of it. Sometimes the tonal shifts were too abrupt and rough for me. Dennis was sometimes unlikable with all his lying and rarely opening up, and he's like the main character, so I'm just like, I gotta like this guy more. I never feel like I got to know the real Dennis. This is James Sweeney's character. He's the guy who wrote, directed, and acted in it. Overall, I like this movie though. A few more scenes with impact and vulnerability. This movie could have been great in my opinion. I would say the good, memorable ones to me were Atropia, Bubble and Squeak, Ricky, Sorry Baby, Sunfish, and Other Stories of the Green Lake, which is my favorite, and Twinless. I want to put Omaha on the list. I was very close to, but it just angered me so much, and I still don't know how I feel about that movie, but I feel something. I also have a video of the docs and the other movies I saw at Sundance, but not in this video, so goodbye.